Have any players left, or they're still?
No, they're still plenty good. You know, they're still plenty good. Got their quarterback back last week, and I mean the cupboard's not bare. You know, I mean they're fighting their tail off, and they've hit a rough stretch here. You know, last week was kind of like our game, you know, against Duke or BC. They turned it over, and you know, I think the game's a lot closer than it's 20-3 or whatever it was, but I think it was closer than that when it's all said and done if they don't turn it over. Same kind of thing with Clemson. You know, that game was a tight ball game till the end. Turned it over a couple times, and Clemson got a couple plays, and kind of the score. The game was a lot closer than the score indicated. When it was all said and done. So they're plenty capable. They don't have the Diggs kid and number 6, and but I tell you, the kid they got number 8. He's made a couple plays, and they've got some good backs. Their offensive line solid. The quarterback he's shown when he's healthy, he's a capable guy, and they're playing for a bowl game. So they're 5-4, and I figure we're going to get their best shot this week, and we got a lot to play for though. When it's all said and done, it's a big game for us. This game's more important than the last one. We got to keep this thing going, but and that's kind of what I was just telling our guys. We just can't assume anything because we played the way we did last week. We're going to do that again. We're just going on history from the year. I'm counting on it being a 4-quarter tight football game, and we got to keep. We can't. Our margin for error is minimal. So we got to keep it that way.
Those 2 receivers they did lose were pretty dynamic.
Yeah.
Does it change anything with what they do?
No, I haven't seen it. They're run the same offense that they did with Diggs, and they're just kind of plugging in some guys. And obviously they've got some talent like everybody else, and have some depth, and so I haven't seen them curtail a lot of their offense because of these guys. Obviously they were backups, and a couple of guys were maybe their roles improved a little bit more, or they plugged them into other spots where those other guys were. So there's still a lot of 3 wides and 4 wides, and so those other guys have some catches too besides just those other 2 cats. So.
It's been 5 years or something like that since you've played Maryland.
Yeah, it has.
It's almost like a non-conference team.
Yeah, almost. It feels that way, just because we really haven't seen them in crossovers or anything like that. There's been times in the past we have. It's just kind of funny this year. We haven't seen like Miami. We haven't seen Maryland. We haven't seen a couple teams. It's kind of crazy how we usually we see some teams. Seen Virginia more a little bit this year than it seems like, but we haven't seen. It's just there's an unknown a little bit. In the past, maybe we played them there a few years, and in a stretch, and you kind of knew their talent and who their guys were, and not that we don't know because we're studying film. But, you know them a little more closer. I think when you played them a little bit more and know their tendencies maybe a little bit, or some of their things that they like to do or whatnot. So that makes it a new, kind of a new animal.
At this point, though, we kind of figure it's full speed ahead with Face on and Kendall.
Yeah.
Whatever you can get from Kyle and Anton is just kind of extra.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what we're banking on right now. And, obviously Darion Green. And I tell you what, last week, to be honest with you, our guys did a great job, and we lost those 2 guys early. And, we ended up, and that messed up our whole package. As far as our nickel package, our 30 package, and all of a sudden we're scrambling. It's kind of like we were in Pitt last year when all those guys got hurt, but that's where it helped to have a little bit more depth and some experience. Where Bonner played that nickel last year, he stepped right in and did it this year without any hesitation. And then Darion Green came in and did a great job, but we were scrambling. And, we ended up early on when it just happened. We ended up instead of playing our, we just kind of went to our base stuff, but we got everything squared away and it worked out for us right there. But you take away 2 plays in that game where kids really played well. I think they had 230 yards in 4 plays and then 122 and 50 plays. So and 2 of those were 170 yards or whatever. Yeah. So the other was 1 run and 1 pass over Face on right there, 30-yarder. But other than that, they're going to get that occasionally. They could have had that many yards against Florida State. The quarterback just overthrew a couple or underthrew a couple. He had a couple balls where it could have been a little different game. But they're capable. But our kids did a great job of adjusting with the injuries, and so we've kind of gone that route. You're going to see. You're going to see Green playing a little bit more. He'll be at the safety, and Bonner being our nickel guy. And Chuck Clark is working back a little bit if we can get him back and just kind of see how healthy he is. But then, again, I think Fuller and Tone will be game time or emergency situations right there. I hope we don't need that.
Fuller was in the green today, Axel on the blue.
Yeah.
Dietrich said that he played the 3 spots in the last game, but he said one of those filling in for Kyle in one of the packages isn't part of. Is he only doing 2 this week?
Yeah, he's playing safety and regular, and then he'd be our nickel in our, we had him playing our bandit spot too, what we call our 30 package. So it says something about the kid and the experience, and and he did it and just some snaps under his belt and did a great job, so.
How good did it feel to see the offense have a 9-minute drive there?
Oh, I tell you what, I've been here 27 years, this is year 27, and even though we didn't score, that was probably as big a drive, as we've had here in a long time, and, in a big game. And, I remember it was like 11 minutes and 16 seconds or something like that when we forced them to punt or whatever, and then next thing I know, they're taking it at 1 minute and 57 seconds, and we just kind of played. We were up and we just, played prevent and all that stuff and let the clock run. But, they ended up taking almost, 9.5 minutes off of that deal, and that was tremendous. I mean, you just talk about the group was just, Logan obviously played great and then took care of the football and they made some great throws and catches and good blocks, good runs, just the total package, and I'm hoping we'll get the same result, but offensively they've been moving the football, even the 2 previous losses we moved the ball, we just kind of kept shooting ourselves in the foot, so to speak, and we're capable, and that's exciting, that we've been able to do that. So now the thing that was nice the other day, we put the ball in the end zone. Even at BC, we put the ball in the end zone. We just didn't need to help them a little bit. So
Margin for error gets slimmer without a kicker?
yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't know who the dude is out there today. Number 1, I don't know. I think we must have picked him up. I think in an aisle at Walmart or something like that, or Kroger or something. I don't know. I don't even know his name. I'm sorry.
Might know it after Saturday.
Yeah, I hope so. You know what? I was telling Steiny, we were out there talking about kicking, and I remember we went up to BC. Some of you guys might remember that a couple of years ago. They beat us up there. I think it might have been Matt Ryan and them. And the guy kicked like 4 field goals, and he was a dude that got off out of the student body.
He had a big cheering section in the crowd.
Yeah, left footer or something.
Evanovich,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean it was our first. His first game,
And
and
then
I think
Meyer for you guys a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm pulling for the guy. So
Whoever it is.
Go number 1.
he kicked the ball good tonight, at least in what I saw. So